Hello, I'm Steve. This is the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support focuses on you making the best decision for your application. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful, as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application, and you can see here that we have some screens that come down. These are the shade screens here, as well as a projector screen that slides down as well. We do have a couple of ceiling fans in here, and then also some recessed lighting up inside here. Now, I don't have the exact placement of the recessed lighting. I did have a floor plan, so here's my floor plan. I started working off this floor plan and noticed that the lights in the images were different from the floor plan, so I just made some adjustments, but these lights are not in the proper position, so something just to keep in mind. Let's go into the overall dimensions. I have 13 feet, 9 feet, 13 feet over here, and then 11 and a half, roughly 10-foot ceiling height. I have these ceiling fans at about 4.5 foot in diameter. And I did place them in according to the floor plan. So if that's changed, from this point here, centered, then we'll need to make that adjustment. Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and turn off the dimensions, and I'm also going to turn off the screens here just because they do retract, so we're not going to always see them, and also it helps to move around the model a little bit easier. All right, so basically, again, I'm not sure about the lighting fixtures up here, and that's going to be a big issue. The doorways here, I believe, swing inwards so that they will not become a combustible issue in the placement of the heaters. And because of the screens being I believe they're on the inside, I'm going to focus on just placing some heaters up here. So this is just going to be a initial plan here, really. And let me turn off this here for a second. So these are slim lines, and what I've done here is just kept the clearance from that 4.5 foot diameter fan from this edge of the fan, from the full circle, I should say, at 18 inches. I know that I show lights here, so that's not going to be a good position if the light is physically centered 18 inches. Well, it actually will be 18 plus 2.5, or 2.5 inches. That would be the center of the heater itself. So if that's the center of the lights, then that might become an issue, and you'll have to push the heater to the left or to the right, as long as we can still meet the clearances, I should say. But same thing over here, 18 inches. Let's go ahead and just turn that on again so you can see. And if you looked at the dimensions again, you can see that I'm just right at the clearance here level of that. Now you could bring the heater down a little bit so that the heater isn't, if the heater itself is at the same level as the bottom of the fan blades, then you can move them closer to the fan blades. If the fan blades are steel and non-combustible, then they are not considered combustible, and you could move the heater a little bit closer, but I would not directly put the ray right on top of the fan blade itself, because that will cause it to warp and things of that nature, even if it's non-combustible. So basically I have 2 units. I think they're about 8 foot center to center, is about what they are. And you can see these are 4,000 watt slim lines. Now, personally, I think the slimline is probably, the 4,000 watt at 10 foot height is probably not enough heat. You can see that the ideal heat level in this particular application, I have about another foot to go, so I'd probably consider using a CD 6024 model and then put a control system on it. But if you're not going to buy a control system, then a 4,000 watt unit would probably be the best answer for that. And some people with the 4,000 watt unit might be just fine with this amount of heat in their acclimated climate that they're at. So that's another thing to think about. some people might be overheated with 4,000 watt units at this height here, 10 foot off the ground. It's actually going to end up being about a 9'2" off the ground. But in any case, that might be fine in your application too. So that's just something that you have to make that ultimate decision about. But in any case, 8 foot center to center, 8 foot center to center, and you can see that we get a really good coverage with these two separate zones here, left and right. And I think that's about it. And I like the slimline look just because it matches mostly what, the square shapes and stuff of that nature. And because this heater here is in this shape, just like a square shape as opposed to a round CD's model, I think it looks a little bit better in that case. So, all right. And also I should mention, if you do put the shades down, let's just put that back up. So these screens will slow the wind down. And because that happens, then you don't need as much heat if you can bring this shade all the way down and it's just a calm, environment inside. Then the heat, you don't need as much heat because of the fact that the cold air isn't blowing across your body and you're not feeling like you need more heat in that kind of scenario. So, all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application, you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. And again, please tap that like button. We don't advertise. We're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel unless we receive your thumbs up, and we really, really appreciate that. Have a great day.